Hey everybody, it's Corey from Netta's Nursery in Posen, and right now I am a very long way from Posen. A lot of you might not know this, but before COVID I used to spend a good part of the year in County Tipperary, Ireland. I have a home there. We run it as a B&B and a tour business, and I'm back again, and I thought this might be a good time for me to give you a little tour of my garden. Now, this is probably the absolute worst time to show you because number one, it's winter and there's not a whole lot of stuff going on in the garden. And number two, with COVID, I haven't been able to spend as much time working on the garden. In fact, it's been completely neglected for 2 years. So I'm a little embarrassed to show it to you, but I figure, hey, what the heck? It's not a bad idea to let people know that all of us have a little bit of challenges when it comes to gardening. So County Tipperary is kind of in the central part of the lower part of Ireland, kind of right along Lough Derg. We border counties Clare, Cork, Limerick, Kilkenny, Galway, and Offaly, and there might be another county in there as well. It's really a beautiful part. We're kind of up in the mountains, so we're a little bit higher elevation than some of the other parts of Ireland. So it's been interesting over the years to kind of learn the plants that grow well here because they are very different from the plants that grow well in Michigan. So it's been a bit of a challenge. Some of my favorite plants aren't going to make it here, but I've discovered some other ones that I really do like. So just give you a quick peek. This is our place right over here. Sorry, we're kind of looking over the back, over the shed. I got the car parked in the yard. Anyway, I'll give you a little peek at the place in just a second. Let me flip around again. Now, January in Ireland can be a bit dreary at times, but we're having some nice sun. We haven't had much rain, so we're lucky that way. Temperatures here are so much milder than what we have in Michigan. Snow up here, it does happen, but not that frequently. So kind of a totally different weather than what I'm used to. So I guess I'm going to start here over at the gate. House is up there. This is a rhododendron, and rhododendrons, of course, by us, there's only a few varieties that we can grow. This one is this beautiful apricot color, blooms in May, usually right when I'm arriving, but I haven't been able to see it for the last 2 years, but it is one of the most beautiful rhododendrons I've ever seen, and it's doing really well. It's been happy there. Have some escallonia planted here. I'm not sure how that does by us. It's got a nice pink flower. And we just kind of have it set up as a little hedge over the wall. And then over here, let me flip it around. Okay, so there's the cottage up there. But anyway, over here, this is the strawberry tree. You can see I've got some rocks that have started to crumble down. It's not actually strawberries. It just has this flower that looks like strawberries. And it's already getting blossoms. And that's the crazy thing. It's January. And the climate here is so much different than back in Michigan that things start blooming really early. In fact, I started kind of clearing out right along here because a neighbor had given me some bluebells, and those are starting to come up. They're not going to bloom for quite a while, but I just wanted to make sure and give them a little room so we could enjoy them later on. Now over here, we got kind of a challenging area because it's a big rocky kind of slope here. And I've tried a couple things in this spot, and there's only a couple things that have ended up doing well. One is heather. Last October, I just stuck this heather in just to see how it do, and it's like probably 4 times the size it was last year. So this year I added some more, and I just love the flower on heather. You can see that beautiful kind of purpley color. And the interesting thing about heather is that it grows really well here, and you don't really notice it when it's not blooming, except when it covers a whole hillside, because then it changes all the color of the leaves. And as the leaves change color, you can even see it here. You have some that are lighter, some that are darker. In the fall, they tend to turn kind of purpley red. So it's a really interesting plant to have. I don't think we have that anywhere in Michigan. I have some roses growing here. They haven't been real prolific, but they're doing okay. And then this is a cotoneaster. I can't remember how to say it right. I planted this, and then it's one that really spreads, so I kind of like it. If you look along here, there's actually a carpet of it along the hillside here. Just put that in there. It's such a spreader here that some people actually don't like it, but for this spot, it seemed to make sense. The other thing that I found does well, and if it does well, I tend to go overboard with it, are some wild roses. So we do have wild Irish roses. These are pink flowers. They don't cover with flowers, but they do keep sending up blooms over and over again all over the whole season. So we love kind of having those around. With these, they're big spreaders. So you can see the original plant was here, and then it sent up some runners. So then there's more plants here and here and here. And it does kind of take over a little, which is exactly what I want. And then I also sometimes just dig these up and plant them in different spots. This one here, I've got a couple of these. Actually, I'll show you when we get inside. This is just kind of my wall of plants. It doesn't look like much now. It's very empty, very sparse. But you can see this is the hydrangea. It's usually blue. And it does pretty good here. We get lots of good leaves. Probably need to give it a little bit more food to give it more flowers. And then I have some astilbe that usually grow in here. This here is a fennel. And it's from, I had a little kitchen garden over here, and the fennel just keeps coming back. So fennel's a perennial here. Some roses. This is a red currant bush that just keeps going non-stop with berries. They're just delicious, kind of tart. We've naturalized some of the foxgloves. Those grow pretty prolifically here. They're biennials, so we'll have leaves one year and flowers the next. Also, look at that. Those are daffodils, and those are coming up. So we're gonna have flowers probably before the end of the month of February. And then over here, this is a rose bush. It's a climbing rose bush. It's a really old variety, and we get nice pink flowers off of that. Ireland's winter weather tends to be kind of more like our late October, early November. It's in the 40s for the most part. We did have a really hard frost one of the days when we first arrived, but it was beautiful because everything was just covered in that white frost. Really nice looking. This tree back over here, that is a laburnum, and also known as a lemon drop tree, and it gets these really fantastic flowers on it. And it reminds me a little bit of the purple robe locust, only yellow. I also have this shrub here which gets orange flowers on it. This is a very untended jasmine bush, and I don't think we can grow this one by us, but I've been training it up the wall, but it hasn't been tended to in 2 years. So you can see it's starting to pull away and lean this way. This is a wisteria that hasn't been doing anything, but I have it kind of protected from the wind. We'll see what it does. I might have to move it at some point. It might be too exposed over here. Another jasmine. This is my little winter storage area. These green evergreens, these are a bit of a cheater plant here in Ireland. I planted them. When I planted them, I'd say they were about as big as this. And that was about 5 years ago. They grow, at least they've been growing about a foot a year. So they're really fast growing, but they smell like lemon when you trim them. It's probably something we do have by us, I'm not sure. But these have been growing up, and I specifically grew these because the slope is really steep over here, and there'd be nothing that would grow there. So I just wanted to cover it because otherwise it just looks like rubble. And again, sorry for everything is really a mess in here. All the plants that you see along here, these are all plants that I just stuck in little cuttings, didn't do anything with them, didn't use rooting powder, didn't use anything. This is a holly that's been doing pretty good. This one here is one that doesn't like hard freezes, so there's a chance that at some point I'm going to lose it, but it's been around for the last 4 or 5 years, and so whatever, you know, I'm not too worried about if I lose it. These are some more black currants and red currants, more wild roses. These are doing really well back here, and these are from cuttings as well. So I get lucky sometimes. There's also, sorry, we got some storage of some stone and slate back there. There's a gooseberry in the back, and also more of those evergreens that just grow so fast. Those are ones, they get a lot of wind over there, so they're kind of ragtaggle because I haven't been around to be able to make sure they stay upright. Let's go back out over here. Gosh, we are having a great day out here. I mean, it's just, we got nice blue sky. Gotta love that. Now I do have my laurel hedge. Laurel's one of those plants, another cheater one, because it grows really fast. It has nice waxy leaves, so it holds up well. And I just have to keep it short because if I don't, we're gonna end up with a really tall hedge and it's gonna start blocking the view. Have this boxwood hedge that's been doing so wonderfully, except I have a problem. Right down over here, you're gonna see I've got blight, and that's something that's been a problem here in Ireland and in the UK. And once you get blight, there are ways of treating it, but it's a really slow process and you really have to be here. So I'm probably gonna have to pull this out and replace it with something else. So a little sad about that, but we manage. But you can see where it was before. It looks really fantastic. Now these were just tiny little fingerlings when I put them in there about 4 or 5 years ago, I think, and I planted them pretty tight together, and I kept it trimmed really close down for the first 2 years so that I had that nice dense boxwood hedge, and it did exactly what I wanted it to until the blight arrived. And I blame COVID for that, simply because I wasn't here to give it its monthly spray in the summertime, which is what it needed. My grass is looking a little rough. This area was super cute when I left in October 2019. Unfortunately, it's gotten a little overgrown over the last 2 years. It has gotten no attention, but I have this really nice holly that has a little bit of a variegated leaf. It is going to be sweet. We're working on a fire pit in the background, but of course, once COVID hit, travel out here was a little off. So our tree there is a little wonky. I do have this rainbow ascot euphorbia that grows by us, and I'm really enjoying it. Here it's an evergreen, which is really nice to see. So it's just always looking really kind of like this. It does have flowers too. You can see the old stems. I haven't taken those out. And then this ivy, when I left, these were just little cuttings. I honestly cut off a piece of ivy and I just set it on the ground, and it's been taking over. So I did trim some of it back along the bottom. Got to figure out how much ivy I actually want in here. So anyway, there's the cottage there. That's one part, and then there's the second part as well. So anyway, not being here over the last 2 years has meant that I haven't been able to do any of the regular care, any of the regular maintenance. Some plants are overgrown. I didn't lose very many plants, but some of them look really rough, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them back to their original shape or not. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you guys this tour just to kind of show you. And let's see, what else can I show you behind me? Let's see. Just really nice day out right now. When I first started the video, just over that hill was the top of Keeper Hill. That's one of the tallest points in County Tipperary, and we get that view from all our upstairs windows and that type of thing. So it's a beautiful area, and I just thought I'd share. I will be back in Posen in time for planting season, which starts in March. So I'll keep doing some videos from here, kind of to keep your winter going well and give you some fodder for the season. So thanks for watching, and talk to y'all very soon.